The smartest way to become more valuable and wealthy starts with a single step. Take that step today and let every action you take multiply your success. True wealth begins with understanding your worth. When you know your value, everything else starts to fall into place. Wealth is the result of consistent growth. Each day you work to increase your value, you're one step closer to the wealth and success you deserve. What if there's a way to increase your value and wealth faster than you ever imagined? What if you could unlock a clear path that helps you become more valuable to others, and in return, creates opportunities to grow your wealth? How much would your life change if you knew exactly how to do it? In this video, we're going to reveal the smartest and fastest ways to boost your personal value, open doors to new opportunities, and set you on a journey to financial success. You'll discover practical steps that can have an immediate impact on your life and bring you closer to your goals. It's not about working harder. It's about working smarter and making choices that pay off in the long run. So if you are ready to unlock your true potential, make smarter choices, and start seeing real progress in your life, then let's dive in. Number 1. Destroy laziness before it destroys your future income. If you want to become more valuable and wealthy, the very first thing you have to deal with is laziness. Not later. Now, laziness is not just doing nothing. It's every little excuse that keeps you from doing what you know you should be doing. It shows up when you hit snooze. It shows up when you say, I'll start tomorrow. It shows up when you scroll through your phone, watch hours of entertainment, and leave your future on pause. It's comfortable, yes, but comfort is where your goals go to die. Laziness doesn't always look like lying in bed. It looks like distraction. It looks like postponing decisions. It looks like being busy with things that don't move you forward. That's what's dangerous about it. It doesn't shout. It whispers. And if you're not careful, those whispers turn into habits that slowly erase your drive, your goals, and your future income. The world doesn't reward intentions. It rewards action. You could have the best ideas, the sharpest mind, and the biggest heart. But if you don't move, if you don't act, then none of it counts. Wealth and value don't come to the thinker. They come to the doer. And that's why laziness is the first enemy you have to eliminate. Start small. Set your alarm and actually get up. Plan your day and stick to it. Push through the feeling that says, not now. Because every time you win that inner battle, you grow. You get stronger. You build the discipline that makes everything else possible. Success doesn't happen in one big leap. It's a series of small wins. And most of them happen when you don't feel like it. Now, here's what most people don't realize. Your value in the marketplace is tied to your ability to move, to solve problems, to show up with energy. And energy doesn't come from sitting still. It comes from momentum. And momentum is only built through action. So if you're waiting to feel motivated, you're stuck. Motivation comes after you act, not before. You want to earn more? Then you have to become more. And becoming more doesn't happen while you're wasting hours doing nothing. That time is costing you. It's not just passing. It's stealing from you. Every minute you spend avoiding your work, someone else is getting ahead. Not because they're smarter, not because they're more talented, but because they decided to fight through the resistance and get things done. Look around. People are looking for leaders, for problem solvers, for value bringers. They don't care how long you've been thinking about starting. They care about what you can deliver. And if you're not sharpening your skills, if you're not building your strength, if you're not training your mind and your work ethic, then you're falling behind. The good news is laziness is beatable. You don't need to be a superhero. You just need to take control of your day. Say no to things that waste your time. Create a routine that works for you and stick to it. Keep a scorecard if you have to. Track your hours like they matter, because they do. Your habits shape your future. If your habits are weak, your income will be weak. If your habits are strong, your income has no choice but to grow. That's not theory. That's real life. That's the law of cause and effect. You don't get wealthy by wishing for it. You get wealthy by earning it, by showing up, by producing, by staying consistent when most people quit. It's not about being perfect. It's about being intentional. Most people are on autopilot. They wake up and do whatever feels easy, but that path leads nowhere. You have to take the wheel. You have to decide, no more wasting time, no more drifting, no more waiting for the right moment. The right moment is now. You've got talents. You've got ideas. You've got something inside you that the world needs. But none of that matters if you don't show up. And you can't show up if laziness keeps calling the shots. Destroy it before it destroys your chances. This is your life we're talking about. Your freedom, your legacy. Don't give it away for a few hours of comfort. Get serious. Make your schedule your best friend. Design your mornings with purpose. When you wake up, don't check your phone. Check your goals. Ask yourself, what's the most important thing I can do today to grow? And then do it, no matter how you feel. Your feelings don't build your future. Your actions do. You want more income? You want more respect? You want more options in life? Then you have to bring more value. And value only grows when you grow. Read every day. Practice your skills. Serve others. Get feedback. Learn from mistakes. That's the path. Not shortcuts, not luck. Just consistent, focused action over time. And the moment you begin to kill off laziness, everything changes. You walk differently. You think differently. You attract better opportunities. People notice your energy. They trust your work. They want you around. Because you're no longer dragging your feet. You're leading the way. You become dependable. And dependability is rare. That's why it's valuable. Companies pay more to people they can count on. Clients stay loyal to people who show up and get things done. Promotions, raises, partnerships. They all start with trust. And trust is built on action, not promises, not potential, but action. You don't have to be the smartest person in the room. You just have to be the most reliable, the most consistent, the one who does the work no matter what. The one who says yes to growth and no to laziness. That's the person who wins. And yes, it's hard, but it's supposed to be. Growth doesn't come cheap. You have to pay the price in effort, in discipline, in time. But the reward, it's freedom. It's the power to choose how you live. It's the ability to say no to things that don't matter because you've built a life that does. But none of that can happen while laziness is in control. It's not just an annoying habit. It's a silent thief. It steals your time, your dreams, and your potential. It doesn't happen all at once. It happens slowly, quietly, day by day. until one day you wake up and realize you've settled for less. Don't let that be your story. Number 2, learn one skill that people pay serious money for. In today's world, you cannot expect to become valuable without mastering a skill that people are willing to pay top dollar for. Let me be very clear. You need to pick something, just one thing, and become exceptional at it. You don't need to know everything. You don't need to be a jack of all trades. You need to become a master of one skill that solves a real problem, something that people are already paying for because they know it's worth the money. When I say pay serious money, I'm talking about skills that are in demand, skills that make you indispensable. People pay serious money for things that solve real problems, that make their lives easier, or that improve their businesses. Think about it. People pay for things they need, things that add value, and things that are hard to find. Take a moment and think about what that skill might be. What can you do that others are either unwilling or unable to do? What knowledge or expertise do you have or could you acquire that people would readily pay for? Is it writing, programming, marketing, graphic design, public speaking? The possibilities are endless, but you have to start somewhere. It's not about chasing trends. It's about finding something that has staying power, something that is consistently in demand. Now, the challenge here isn't just choosing the skill, it's mastering it. Mastery takes time. You don't become an expert overnight. It takes practice, persistence, and patience. You have to commit to the grind. It's not about just dabbling in something for a few months and hoping it sticks. Mastery means that you wake up every day and get better, even if it's by just 1%. You work on it daily. You invest your time, your energy, and sometimes your money into it. You're willing to sacrifice for the long-term rewards. Think about the world's top earners, the people who make millions, sometimes billions. What do they have in common? They've mastered a skill, and it's not necessarily something fancy. It's something that creates value. Bill Gates didn't become a billionaire by knowing everything about computers. He became a billionaire because he understood software and made sure the world would need it. Steve Jobs didn't create just any technology. He understood design and simplicity, and he mastered the art of consumer technology. When you learn a skill that people pay for, you're not just making money. You're offering a solution. You're solving a problem, and that's where the value lies. The more you can solve problems, the more you become a valuable resource. You need to shift your mindset from thinking about what's easy to do to what's valuable to others. If you're just good at something, you're not going to stand out. But if you're exceptional at solving problems, if you're consistently the go-to person for that solution, then you'll attract all the right opportunities. I know it can be overwhelming thinking about where to start, but don't get paralyzed by the options. Start simple. Look around and see what people are constantly asking for. What do they need? What are they willing to pay for? You could start by offering your services to a small group, just friends, family, or local businesses. See where your strengths lie. Test the market. The real key is not to worry about being perfect from the start. It's about building momentum. You learn along the way. You tweak and improve as you go. I'll tell you this. The market doesn't reward people who are just okay. It rewards people who are excellent at what they do. You can't afford to be average in today's world. You have to stand out. And to do that, you need to become the best at something. You have to pour your energy into learning and mastering that one skill that will set you apart from everyone else. If you spend your time learning how to be the best at one thing, the world will pay you for it. It's simple, but it's not easy. Think about the people you look up to, the ones you admire, the ones who inspire you. Chances are they didn't become great because they were good at everything. They became great because they picked a skill. They worked relentlessly at it, and they became the best. You want to earn more? You want to make a difference? Become the go-to person for something. Specialize in one thing that the world will gladly pay for, and don't wait for someone else to teach you. Take control of your education. There's an entire world of resources out there to help you learn. whether it's books, online courses, mentors, or practical experience. Seek them out. Don't let the world pass you by because you're waiting for the perfect time to start. There is no perfect time. The perfect time is now. You have to be willing to do the work that others aren't. The road to becoming valuable is not easy, but it's rewarding. If you're sitting on the sidelines waiting for things to come to you, you're missing the point. People who succeed are the ones who make things happen. They take action. They don't sit around wondering if they can do it. They decide to do it, and then they get to work. When you start mastering a skill, it will take time for you to gain recognition. That's okay. In the beginning, you may not see the financial rewards right away, but don't be discouraged. Keep refining your craft. Keep working harder than anyone else. Eventually, the market will recognize you. Your reputation will grow, and you'll find that the more you improve your skills, the more opportunities will come your way. People will start to take notice, and they'll seek you out for the value you provide. As you progress, you'll also start to see your income increase. Not because you're just working harder, but because you're becoming more valuable. The higher the value you bring to the table, the more you can command. You'll be in a position where people are willing to pay you because they know that the skill you've mastered is rare and in demand. The lesson here is simple. Learn something people are willing to pay for and get really good at it. Dedicate yourself to being the best at it and then watch your value rise. The world doesn't pay for effort alone. It pays for value. And value comes from expertise, from mastery, from being able to deliver results consistently and effectively. That's how you separate yourself from the pack. That's how you create the future you want. Number 3, offer more value than anyone else around you. In life, the key to rising above the competition isn't to outwork them, it's to outvalue them. People don't pay for your time, they pay for the value you provide. If you can offer more value than anyone else around you, opportunities will flood your way. You will become the person others turn to when they need something done, when they need help, when they need solutions. And this isn't about doing more work or burning yourself out. It's about doing what matters and doing it in a way that no one else does. Offering more value doesn't mean simply being busy. In fact, being busy is the opposite of offering value. Being busy is just running in circles. Offering value means you are purposeful, intentional, and focused on producing results that make a real difference to others. Think about what people truly need. What problem do they have that they would pay to solve? It's not just about filling a space. It's about filling a need, a gap, something that no one else is providing. The reality is most people operate from a place of scarcity. They think there's only so much to go around. But the truth is, there's more than enough for everyone. The question is, who will rise to offer the most value? Who will show up and give the most? Those are the people who succeed. They don't operate from a place of, what can I get? But from a place of, what can I give? They focus on how they can help, how they can contribute, and how they can serve others in a way that leaves everyone better off. Offering value starts with understanding the needs of others. It's not about you. It's about what others need and how you can fill that need. This might sound simple, but this is where most people go wrong. They're more focused on what they can sell, what they can take, rather than what they can offer. The mindset shift is critical. When you focus on helping, solving, and improving the lives of others, value flows naturally. Take a step back and evaluate the value you offer right now. Are you just meeting expectations or are you exceeding them? Are you delivering something that goes above and beyond what's expected? It's easy to be good enough. It's easy to deliver just what's required. But if you want to stand out, you've got to give more. And I don't just mean more effort, I mean more real value. Look around. Who's getting ahead? Who's creating wealth? It's the ones who are adding value at a level that's above everyone else. They're the ones solving bigger problems, going the extra mile, and making a difference in a way that's felt by everyone around them. That's the secret. When you offer value that others can't match, you put yourself in a unique position to succeed. You become indispensable. People will seek you out because you've made yourself a valuable asset. And this is not just about big gestures. It's about the small, consistent actions you take to provide value. Every email you send, every conversation you have, every project you work on, ask yourself, how can I offer more value here? It might be adding an extra idea, going the extra mile on a project, following up with someone, giving advice, or simply offering a listening ear. It's those small moments that compound over time. The way you show up every single day to give more than what's asked of you will eventually build your reputation. But here's the catch. You can't give value if you don't have it to give. You can't offer what you don't possess. This is where continuous growth comes into play. To offer more value, you have to constantly be learning, improving, and developing new skills. People will only pay for value that they believe is worth the investment. You can't add value if you're standing still. You have to keep moving, keep growing, and keep gaining new knowledge and expertise. The world rewards the person who invests in themselves. The more you invest in your skills, the more you have to offer, and the more you become worth. Now, you might think that offering value means giving away everything for free. That's not the case. Offering value doesn't mean underpricing yourself or undervaluing your time. It's about delivering at a level where people are willing to pay for your services because they understand the worth of what you offer. Don't be afraid to charge what you're worth. The more value you provide, the more you can charge for your time and your services. You're not selling yourself short. You're offering a solution that's worth the price. But value isn't just about what you do. It's about how you make people feel. The most valuable people aren't just those who have the technical skills. They're also the ones who make others feel important, heard, and valued. When you give people your best work, and when you do it in a way that makes them feel respected and appreciated, you elevate the experience. This is a critical part of offering value. It's not just about delivering what's expected. It's about creating an experience that makes others want to come back for more. You don't have to be the best in the world to offer more value. You don't have to have all the answers, but you do need to be willing to put in the work. It's about your mindset. If your mindset is focused on being of service, if you can see opportunities to help others all around you, if you're looking for ways to make life easier for someone else, then value will naturally flow from you. The most successful people don't operate from a mindset of competition. They operate from a mindset of collaboration and contribution. They know that offering more value doesn't just help others, it helps them too. When you give without holding back, you build a network, a reputation, and a foundation that's stronger than anything money can buy. People pay for results. People pay for transformations. If you can take someone from where they are now to where they want to be, you've created something of real value. Whether it's in business, in relationships, or in your personal life, you can always add value by helping others reach their goals, solve their problems, and move forward. The more you can do this, the more you will grow, and the more others will notice the difference you're making in their lives. Think about the people you admire, the ones who've had the greatest impact on you, the ones you trust. It's not because they were just like everyone else. It's because they gave more. They went beyond what was expected. They understood that to be truly valuable, you have to give more than anyone else. The ones who change the game, who become the most sought after, are those who put others first. It's not about getting ahead at the expense of others. It's about getting ahead by lifting others up. This principle applies in everything. In business, in your career, in relationships, always strive to offer more. When you make offering value your top priority, everything else will follow. When you start focusing on what you can give, you will find yourself surrounded by opportunities. Number 4, charge for your value without feeling guilty ever. You have something valuable to offer, and the sooner you realize that, the sooner your life will change. There's no reason to feel guilty about charging for your expertise, your time, or your work. You're not doing anyone a favor by underpricing yourself or giving away your skills for free. In fact, when you fail to charge for your value, you're doing a disservice not just to yourself, but to everyone who could benefit from your work. Understand this. The value you bring to the table is not a burden. It's a gift. It's a solution to a problem, a way to make someone's life easier, better, or more successful. When you offer value, you are giving something precious, whether it's your time, knowledge, skills, or services. You have something people are willing to pay for because they know it's worth it. And it's okay to charge for that. It's okay to ask for compensation for the value you bring. You are not being greedy. You are being just. The moment you let guilt creep in, you weaken your position. You start doubting your worth, second-guessing yourself, and eventually you undercut your own value. This is dangerous because not only are you diminishing your own potential, but you're also undervaluing the impact you can have on others. When you give something valuable, whether it's in the form of knowledge, service, or a product, you are entitled to be compensated for that. Charging for your value is not something to feel guilty about. It's a reflection of the work and the transformation you offer. Let's take a step back and think about this. If you provide a service, for example, let's say you're a consultant, a coach, or a designer, whatever it may be. When you help someone improve their business, increase their revenue, or solve a serious problem, the value you offer is often worth far more than what you're charging. Think about the businesses you admire. How much do they charge for their products or services? And do you ever feel guilty when you pay for something that genuinely helps you? Of course not. You know the value it brings. The same applies to you. Your expertise, your time, your effort is worth something. And there's nothing wrong with expecting to be compensated for it. If you are constantly undercharging or giving away your work for free because you feel guilty, you're doing a disservice not only to yourself, but to the people you help. People value what they pay for. When they pay for your services, they're not just compensating you, they're investing in themselves. And if you've done your job right, if you've offered genuine value, they will see that investment pay off many times over. You are helping them transform their life, business, or situation. You are worth what you charge. Don't ever doubt that. Here's something to consider. What happens when you don't charge for your value? You may think you're being generous or kind, but in reality, you're preventing others from respecting and valuing your work. When people get something for free, they often take it for granted. It doesn't carry the same weight as something they've invested in. And not only that, when you give your work away for free, you're teaching others to undervalue you. You're setting a precedent that your time and skills don't deserve compensation. You're telling them, I don't value myself, so neither should you. And that is a dangerous mindset to adopt. Let me tell you this. People who succeed and create wealth in this world have one thing in common. They know their worth and they charge for it. They understand the value they bring to the table and they don't hesitate to charge for it. The problem is, many of us have been conditioned to think that charging for value is selfish or greedy. But that's simply not true. Charging for your value is a reflection of your self-worth, your confidence, and your belief in what you can do. And it's a clear message to the world that you are serious about what you offer. The next time you feel that guilt creeping in as you set your prices or ask for payment, remind yourself of the transformation you provide. You're not just selling a product or a service, you're offering a solution. And solutions are worth paying for. You're providing something that others can't do for themselves or don't have the time or energy to do. You're saving them time, money, effort, and frustration. That is valuable, and that is worth charging for. Now, I know some of you may be thinking, but what if people don't want to pay? Or what if I'm not worth that much? I want you to stop right there. Don't let those thoughts control you. The fact that you're questioning your worth tells me you haven't fully embraced the value you offer yet. And that's okay. It's something we all go through. But the truth is, you're more valuable than you realize. Your experience, your skills, and your ability to solve problems for others are worth a lot. Don't let your own insecurities or fears about what others think hold you back from charging what you deserve. Let's look at this from another angle. If you don't charge for your value, you're actually depriving the world of the opportunity to benefit from your talents. When you undercharge, you limit your capacity to make a real impact. You also limit the opportunity for others to invest in themselves. People pay for solutions. And if you can offer the solution to a problem they're facing, they will pay for it. You're not doing anyone a favor by undervaluing yourself. On the contrary, you are holding yourself back from reaching your full potential. And let's not forget about the practical side of things. You need to charge for your value because it's how you sustain yourself. It's how you support your family, build your business, and continue to grow. You cannot continue to give your best work if you're constantly struggling to make ends meet. Charging what you're worth allows you to reinvest in yourself, whether it's upgrading your skills, hiring help, or building your brand. When you charge for your value, you create the financial foundation that enables you to keep growing and offering even more value to the world. This isn't about greed or selfishness. It's about self-respect and fairness. You have the right to charge for your skills and services. You have the right to ask for what you're worth. When you do, you empower yourself. You empower others. And you contribute to a world where people exchange value in a way that benefits everyone involved. The next time you set a price, don't hesitate. Don't doubt your value. Charge for what you're worth without guilt. When you do, you'll find that the world begins to recognize your worth, and you'll attract the opportunities and compensation you truly deserve. You are worthy of the success that comes from offering your value to others. Don't let anyone, including yourself, convince you otherwise. Number 5, read daily to outgrow who you were yesterday. Reading is one of the most powerful tools you have at your disposal to grow, improve, and become the person you were meant to be. Every single day, you are given an opportunity to outgrow the version of yourself that existed yesterday. It's not about making giant leaps, but about making consistent, incremental improvements. And reading, especially when done daily, is one of the most effective ways to accomplish this. The beauty of reading is that it opens your mind to new ideas, new perspectives, and new possibilities. Every time you pick up a book, you are stepping into someone else's world, someone else's thinking, and someone else's experiences. You are absorbing the knowledge, wisdom, and lessons that took them years, sometimes decades, to gather. By reading, you are standing on the shoulders of giants, and this is how you learn to grow faster, smarter, and more strategically than if you were trying to figure everything out on your own. When you make reading a daily habit, you begin to shift your mindset. You stop seeing yourself as someone who is limited by the experiences of the past and start seeing yourself as someone who is constantly evolving. Each book you read is like a small investment in your future self. You're not just passing the time or filling your mind with useless information. You're actively shaping your future by choosing what to focus on, what to learn, and what to integrate into your life. It's easy to get stuck in the habits, routines, and patterns that we've grown comfortable with. But if you want to change your life, you need to break free from the cycle of familiarity. This is where reading comes in. By exposing yourself to new ideas, new strategies, and new ways of thinking, you start to realize that there's more out there for you. There's more for you to learn, more for you to experience, and more for you to become. Reading shows you what's possible, what's out there, and what could be within your reach if you put in the work. It's not about reading for the sake of reading. It's about reading with purpose. It's about reading to grow, to expand, to challenge your current thinking. You have to be intentional about the books you choose and the way you engage with them. If you're just reading to pass the time or to escape your reality, you're missing the point. You should be reading to enrich your mind, to elevate your thinking, and to gain insights that will help you level up. Think about the people you admire, the ones who have achieved great things in life. Chances are they're readers, They've made reading a daily part of their routine. They read because they understand the value of continuous learning. The world is changing rapidly, and if you're not actively working to keep up, you'll get left behind. Reading helps you stay ahead of the curve. It keeps you informed, inspired, and equipped with the tools you need to adapt to any situation. But the benefits of reading don't just stop at knowledge acquisition. When you read, you also develop discipline. You are training yourself to focus, to absorb information, and to take action on what you learn. This discipline carries over into every other area of your life. The more you commit to reading, the more you commit to your own growth. And as you grow, the world around you begins to reflect that growth. Opportunities appear, doors open, and the way you approach challenges changes. You become someone who is always learning, always improving, and always moving forward. The key to reading for growth is consistency. It's not about reading a book in a day or finishing a certain number of pages per week. It's about making it a non-negotiable part of your daily routine. Even if it's just 10 or 15 minutes a day, that daily commitment adds up over time. Over the course of a year, that's hours and hours of learning, expanding your mind, and challenging yourself. And those small, consistent efforts compound into massive growth. One of the reasons so many people fail to grow is because they never develop the habit of reading. They're too busy with the distractions of daily life, and they don't see the value in carving out time to read. But the truth is, you're already investing your time in something, whether it's social media, TV shows, or other forms of entertainment. Why not invest that time into something that will actually benefit your future? Reading is a form of self-investment. It's one of the best ways to ensure that you are continually moving forward and evolving. Another powerful aspect of reading is the ability to reflect on what you've learned. It's not just about absorbing information passively. It's about engaging with the material, thinking critically, and applying what you've learned to your own life. Each book you read provides you with a set of tools, strategies, and ideas that you can put into practice. The more you read, the more you begin to realize that you have everything you need to create the life you want. The knowledge is already out there. It's just up to you to absorb it, understand it, and put it to use. Reading also opens the door to mentorship. When you read books written by successful people, you're essentially getting mentored by them. You get to learn from their successes, their failures, and their experiences. You get to access the wisdom they've gained over the years without ever having to meet them in person. This is the power of reading. You don't have to wait for someone to take you under their wing or offer you advice. You can find that mentorship in the pages of a book. And the more you read, the more mentors you have in your life. It's important to remember that the books you read don't have to be business-related or self-help books to be valuable. The key is to read books that challenge your thinking, broaden your perspective, and push you to grow. Whether it's fiction, history, philosophy, or science, every book you read has the potential to expand your mind and help you see the world in a different light. Don't underestimate the impact of reading on your personal growth. The knowledge you gain will help you make better decisions, avoid costly mistakes, and see opportunities where others see obstacles. The more you read, the more you'll realize that growth is a process, and it's a process that requires constant effort and dedication. But with each book, each page, you're becoming a better version of yourself. And that's the key to creating the life you want. So make reading a part of your daily routine. Commit to it, even if it's just for a few minutes each day. Your future self will thank you for the effort. It's not about reading to impress others or to say you've read a certain number of books. It's about reading to outgrow who you were yesterday. Every book, every lesson, every new idea is a step toward becoming the person you're meant to be. And as you continue to grow, you'll begin to see the world around you change in ways you never thought possible. Number 6, talk less and prove your worth through action. In a world where everyone has something to say, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that the more you talk, the more valuable you become. People often boast about their plans, their intentions, and their big ideas. But in the end, actions speak louder than words. Real value isn't created by talking about what you're going to do, but by actually doing it. There's a difference between talking about your goals and showing up every day to put in the work that turns those goals into reality. If you want to prove your worth in this world, you need to learn to talk less and do more. You don't need to tell everyone about your big plans. Let your results speak for themselves. Talk can be cheap. It's easy to say you're going to accomplish something, but it takes real effort, dedication, and consistency to make it happen. This is where the true test of character lies when no one is watching. When no one is there to cheer you on, do you still do the work? This isn't just about being humble or keeping your ambitions to yourself. It's about focusing on what truly matters action. Words can inspire, but they can also deceive. You can talk about how passionate you are, how much you want to succeed, but unless you're taking action, those words are just empty promises. People will respect you for your actions, not your words. Your worth is not determined by how many things you say you're going to do, but by how many things you actually follow through on. You might know someone who talks a big game, but never seems to deliver. They tell you about their plans for success, but they never take the necessary steps to get there. They're full of ideas, but they lack execution. In contrast, there are people who say very little, but their actions speak volumes. You know they're capable because of what they've done, not because of what they've said. It's the difference between being a talker and a doer. Actions are what create momentum. Every step you take, no matter how small, moves you closer to where you want to be. It's the consistency of doing, not the volume of talking, that leads to growth. When you talk less and focus more on action, you allow your progress to be your message. You don't need to explain yourself, justify your decisions, or seek validation from others. Your actions will make it clear to everyone around you that you are committed, capable, and serious about your goals. The danger of too much talking is that it can become a distraction. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of talking about your plans, but that energy can quickly fade if you don't take immediate action. Every time you speak about your goals without following through, you erode your own credibility. People start to doubt your ability to deliver. Words lose their weight when there's no action behind them. The key to establishing your credibility is to back up your words with results. When you start proving your worth through action, you'll notice something powerful happening. People begin to trust you. They'll stop waiting for you to tell them what you're going to do next. Instead, they'll begin to pay attention to what you're actually doing. And that trust is invaluable. Trust opens doors, creates opportunities, and leads to partnerships that can propel you forward. When people see that you deliver on your promises without needing to announce it every step of the way, they'll respect you. They'll recognize your integrity and your commitment to getting things done. It's important to remember that the journey of success isn't always glamorous. There will be times when the work feels mundane, repetitive, and even discouraging. But it's during these moments that you prove your worth the most. You don't need to announce every small victory or share every little achievement with the world. Just keep moving forward and let your progress accumulate. Before long, the results will be undeniable. You'll look back and realize that your quiet dedication, your ability to stay focused on the task at hand, has carried you further than words ever could. The best part about focusing on action is that it gives you clarity. When you're too busy talking about your plans, you waste time that could be spent executing. The more you talk, the more you distract yourself from the real work. When you shift your focus from talking to doing, you free up mental energy to actually figure out how to make things happen. You stop worrying about impressing others with your ideas and start concentrating on executing them. Let's be honest. Talking too much can sometimes be a form of procrastination. You might be telling yourself that you're planning, that you're getting everything ready, but in reality, you're just putting off taking the first step. And we all know that the first step is often the hardest. The longer you talk about your plans without acting on them, the more daunting they become. But once you begin taking those first few steps, the path ahead becomes clear, and you build the momentum you need to continue moving forward. In the end, It's not the promises you make that will determine your success. It's the promises you keep. And the only way to keep promises is to follow through on them. If you want to become someone who is truly valuable, someone who stands out, you need to focus on doing more than talking. It's time to stop announcing your plans and start executing them. The world will see your worth in the results you create, not in the words you speak. And when you prove your worth through action, your credibility will be unshakable. Number 7, build something people actually need and will buy. When it comes to creating wealth and value, there's one undeniable truth. People will only invest their time, money, and energy in something that serves a real purpose in their lives. If you want to build something truly valuable, something that will stand the test of time, it has to solve a problem or fulfill a need. No matter how brilliant or unique your idea is, if it doesn't meet a real demand, it will be hard to make a lasting impact. That's why building something people actually need and will buy is the foundation of success. Start by asking yourself this: what problem can I solve? What is it that people are struggling with? And how can I make their lives easier or better? Whether it's a product or a service, it needs to be something that fills a gap. Think about what people are already searching for, the challenges they're facing, and the frustrations they're trying to overcome. These are the pain points you should focus on. Your goal is not to create something that's simply nice to have, but something that is absolutely necessary. The market is flooded with ideas, and some of them may seem like great opportunities. But if you take a moment to reflect, you'll realize that many of these ideas fail because they don't meet a real pressing need. They're often based on wishful thinking or personal preferences, not on a clear understanding of what people actually want. This is where you have to do your homework. You need to identify what people are asking for, what they're searching for, and what's missing in the market. It's easy to get caught up in your own excitement about your idea, but you must be willing to step back and ask the important question: will this really work for the people I want to serve? Building something people actually need requires you to approach it with a customer-centric mindset. You're not just creating something for your own benefit. You're creating something for the people who will use it. And those people want a solution, not just a product or service. Think about some of the most successful businesses and products. What do they all have in common? They serve a clear, definable need, whether it's a smartphone that connects people, a fitness program that helps people get healthier, or a financial tool that helps people save money. Each of these products fulfills a need that people are willing to pay for. There's no guesswork involved. People buy these products because they know they will improve their lives. Now here's where things get interesting. It's not enough just to meet a need. You need to meet that need better than anyone else. You have to understand the nuances of your target market. What do they already have, and how can you make it better? What are their frustrations with current solutions, and how can you improve on them? If you're not offering something better or more convenient than what's already out there, then you're going to have a hard time standing out in a crowded marketplace. Don't try to be everything to everyone. Focus on the people who need your product the most, and tailor your offering to their specific needs. The more specialized you can be, the more value you provide. Think about the products or services you personally use. You're not using them because they are generic or because everyone else uses them. You use them because they meet your exact needs, and they do it well. That's the level of specificity you need to aim for when building your own product or service. It's also important to keep in mind that building something people will buy isn't just about the product itself. It's about how you present and sell that product. You can have the best solution in the world, but if you can't effectively communicate its value to potential customers, you're going to struggle. People don't buy products or services because they're simply available. They buy them because they understand how those products will improve their lives. If you can't connect the dots between the need and your solution, then you'll have a hard time convincing anyone to make a purchase. Start thinking about how you can market your product in a way that resonates with your target audience. What language do they use? What's important to them? What do they care about most? By speaking to these needs and desires, you create a connection that goes beyond just a transaction. You're not just selling a product, you're offering a solution to their problem. When you can show that you understand your customers' pain points, that's when you start to build real trust and loyalty. And here's the thing. As you build something people need, you're not just focused on the immediate sale. You're focused on building a relationship. The more you build that trust and provide real value, the more your customers will come back to you, and the more they'll recommend your product to others. Word of mouth is one of the most powerful forms of marketing, and it's only earned by consistently delivering on your promises. By offering something that truly makes a difference, you set the foundation for long-term success. But here's the kicker. You can't build something people need if you're not paying attention to the feedback you receive. This is where most entrepreneurs go wrong. They get so attached to their idea that they fail to listen to their customers. If people are telling you something is wrong, or that they wish your product had certain features, you can't just ignore it. Listen to them. The more you listen, the more you learn, and the better you can refine and improve your offering. Innovation isn't just about coming up with something entirely new. Sometimes the best innovations come from improving upon what already exists. The most successful entrepreneurs are the ones who keep improving, refining, and adapting their products to better meet the needs of their customers. And it's this commitment to constant improvement that ensures you stay relevant in an ever-changing market. Building something that people need and will buy doesn't happen overnight. It requires effort, patience, and persistence. You'll have to face challenges and setbacks along the way, but as long as you stay focused on solving real problems, you'll find a way forward. And when you do, you'll see the rewards, both in terms of personal fulfillment and financial success. Your product or service is not just an object, it's a solution. When you can meet the needs of your customers in a meaningful way, they'll not only buy from you, but they'll keep coming back. They'll trust you, they'll value what you provide, and they'll become your biggest advocates. This is the foundation of true, lasting success. Build something people need and the rest will follow. Number 8, fail fast, fix faster, and keep showing up. Failure is often seen as something to avoid at all costs, something that should be feared and hidden away. But let me tell you, the most successful people in the world understand one thing. Failure is not the end. It's part of the journey. The key is to fail fast, fix faster, and most importantly, to keep showing up. Let that be the mindset you carry with you every single day. You see, most people are afraid to fail. They try to avoid it at all costs because they don't want to feel the sting of defeat. But here's the truth. Failure is inevitable. You can't get to where you want to go without failing along the way. Every successful person you look up to has failed, has stumbled, and has faced obstacles. But they didn't let those failures define them. They used them as stepping stones. They learned, they adjusted, and they kept going. Let's break it down. The sooner you fail, the sooner you can learn and adjust. There's no reason to wait until you've sunk a ton of time, energy, or resources into something that's not going to work. Get the failure out of the way quickly. Fail fast. That's the strategy. Instead of holding back, instead of waiting for the perfect moment, get started. Make your mistakes. Take your lumps, then fix them. Don't let the fear of failure stop you from acting. You see, waiting for everything to be perfect is a recipe for inaction. Perfection doesn't exist. It's an illusion. The more you delay, the more opportunities you miss. The best way to learn and grow is through action. When you fail quickly, you get immediate feedback. And with that feedback comes the opportunity to improve. Failing doesn't mean you're done. It doesn't mean you're incapable. It simply means you're moving forward. And that's what matters. Now here's where the real power lies. Once you've failed, the next step is crucial. You need to fix faster. This is where many people fall short. They fail, but instead of addressing the problem and moving forward, they get stuck. They dwell on their mistakes, they beat themselves up, and they waste precious time thinking about what went wrong. If you want to move fast toward success, you have to shift your focus from the failure to the solution. What's the fix? What's the next step? The faster you fix your mistakes, the faster you get back on track. The key to success is not in avoiding mistakes, but in how quickly you can turn things around. When you fail, don't waste time feeling sorry for yourself or regretting what you did wrong. Look at the situation objectively. Figure out what you can do differently and make the necessary adjustments. The quicker you can do that, the quicker you can recover and continue moving toward your goal. Remember, success doesn't happen overnight. It's built on a series of actions, some of which are mistakes, but that's okay. It's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. And to be consistent, you have to keep going, even when things don't go as planned. You have to show up every day, ready to take on the challenges and make adjustments as you go. But it's not just about failing quickly and fixing quickly. It's about showing up day in and day out. It's about the commitment to keep pushing forward no matter what. This is where so many people give up. When things get hard, when they hit a roadblock, they stop. They throw in the towel. But here's the thing. Showing up is half the battle. The people who succeed are the ones who keep showing up, even when it feels like nothing is working. The person who keeps going will eventually surpass the person who gave up. You have to make the decision that you're not going to let setbacks stop you. You're not going to let failures hold you back. Instead, you're going to embrace the failures, learn from them, and get better. Every single time you fail, you gain something valuable. It's a lesson. And the more lessons you learn, the better prepared you become for the next challenge. There's a beautiful simplicity to this idea. Fail, fix, and show up. It's a cycle that, when embraced, will take you further than you can imagine. Each failure becomes an opportunity to grow. Each fix makes you stronger. And each day you show up gets you one step closer to your goal. The more you practice this, the more natural it becomes. You start to see failure not as something to fear, but as a necessary part of the process. You've got to train yourself to love the grind. You've got to embrace the discomfort of failure and see it for what it is. A learning experience. There's no shame in failing. The real shame comes from not learning from it. The sooner you learn to fix your mistakes, the sooner you'll start to see results. And when you show up every day, regardless of what happens, you build the momentum that will eventually carry you to success. Now let's talk about the people who don't keep showing up. They're the ones who let failure define them. They're the ones who walk away after one setback thinking that it's all over. And that's exactly why they never achieve anything significant. You can't win if you're not willing to keep showing up, especially when things aren't going your way. It's the commitment to keep moving forward that separates the winners from the losers. You may not see the immediate results of your efforts. It may take time for everything to come together. But every time you show up, every time you try again, you're building momentum. And that momentum will carry you forward. There's no substitute for showing up consistently. So, stop worrying about failure. Stop thinking that it's something you need to avoid at all costs. Understand that failure is just a part of the process. Fail fast, fix faster, and then keep showing up. The more you do this, the more progress you make, and the closer you get to achieving your goals. Number 9, use your free time to build paid results. Everyone has the same 24 hours in a day. That's the truth. But the difference between those who are successful and those who are stuck often lies in how they choose to use that time. Time is the one resource you can never get back. And the way you spend your free time can either build your future or waste it. The choice is yours. and it's one of the most powerful decisions you'll make. We all have free time. Some of it is scheduled, some of it is spontaneous. But the important thing is how you use it. Too many people squander their free time on mindless activities that don't contribute to their growth or goals. Whether it's scrolling through social media, watching TV shows that add no value, or engaging in activities that don't bring you closer to your aspirations, you're simply wasting time. That time could be used to build something significant, to move closer to your dreams, and to create paid results that will change your life. Think about it. How many hours do you spend each week doing things that don't push you forward? Hours and hours of your life that could be used for personal development, learning new skills, or working on a side hustle that could eventually generate income. Those small, quiet moments when you're not working. The hours that slip through your day unnoticed, they add up. They could become the difference between success and stagnation. The question is, are you using those hours to build something of value? When you have free time, the choice is simple. Either you're investing it into your future, or you're letting it slip away into the void. Building paid results doesn't require some massive life-altering decision. It doesn't require you to quit your job or uproot your life. It's about making the best use of the time you already have. If you're not actively working toward your goals in your free time, then you're not really living with purpose. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's easy to say that, but life gets busy, doesn't it? Work, family, commitments, all of it can take up your time. And it's true, but here's where you have to change your mindset. The successful people aren't the ones with more time. They're the ones who use their time better. It's not about having more hours in the day. It's about making the most of the ones you have. That's the power of how you choose to use your free time. If you're not already using your free time to create paid results, let's talk about where to start. Think about the skills you have. What are you good at? What could you learn that others would be willing to pay for? The beauty of today's world is that you don't need to go through traditional channels to create value. You can start small, even with just a few hours a week, and begin developing a skill that will pay you in the long run. It could be learning to write, developing a coding skill, learning digital marketing, graphic design, or video production. These are skills that are in high demand. And once you learn them, you can apply them in real-world situations. Maybe you start by offering services to a friend, a family member, or a local business. That's your starting point. Every hour you invest into learning a skill, perfecting it, and then applying it is an hour that can generate income in the future. But it doesn't stop there. It's not enough to just learn. You have to take that knowledge and turn it into action. Once you have a skill, you have to find a way to apply it to create paid results. That's the next step. Whether you do freelance work, start an online business, or simply take on side gigs in your spare time, the goal is the same. Use your free time to create something that has value, something people will pay for. This doesn't have to be a massive project. It can be as simple as offering a service, writing an ebook, or creating an online course. The key is consistency. If you commit to dedicating a set amount of your free time every day to developing your skills and applying them to real-world situations, you'll begin to see results. These results may not be immediate, but over time, they will compound. And before you know it, the income you've generated through your side projects will become substantial. The power of building paid results from your free time is that it gives you control over your future. You stop relying on just one source of income and start creating multiple streams. And that's where true financial freedom begins. By making the most of your free time, you create opportunities for yourself that others might not even see. You open doors that lead to new experiences, new financial stability, and most importantly, a new sense of confidence and empowerment. But let's be clear. It's not just about the money. It's about what the money represents. It represents freedom, the freedom to choose how you live your life, how you spend your time, and how you impact the world. The time you invest in building something valuable during your free moments will give you the freedom to do more of what you love, the freedom to travel, to support your family, and to live life on your terms. So let's get down to it. Start today. Think about what you can learn, what you can create, and what you can offer. Commit to using your free time to build something that will pay you, whether it's a new skill, a product, or a service. Don't let those small pockets of time go to waste. They're too valuable. Each minute you spend building toward your future is an investment in the life you want. And the best part? You're the one in control of how you spend it. There's no magic trick to creating paid results from your free time. It's simple. Make a decision to use your time wisely. Take small, consistent actions every day. Learn, grow, and apply what you've learned. Over time, you'll see how those small efforts add up to something that can truly change your life. And remember, it all starts with using your free time to build the future you want. Number 10, cut everything that does not grow your value. In your journey to becoming more valuable, to growing and expanding, you will encounter distractions. These distractions can take many forms. Unproductive habits, relationships that drain your energy, tasks that don't align with your bigger goals, and even your own negative self-talk. The problem is many people hold on to these distractions because they feel comfortable. They're familiar. They provide a sense of safety, even if that safety is simply avoiding discomfort. But here's the truth. If you want to grow, you have to let go of the things that are keeping you stuck. The first step to cutting everything that does not grow your value is recognizing what's not working. It's so easy to get caught up in the daily grind, in routines that seem harmless or even productive. But if you're not careful, you'll find yourself spending your precious time and energy on things that ultimately don't serve you. Think about it for a moment. How much time do you spend on activities that don't contribute to your growth? It could be something as simple as binge watching a show that, isn't really adding value to your life. Or it could be a toxic relationship that drains you emotionally, leaving you with nothing but frustration and exhaustion. We all have things in our lives that we continue to pour energy into, even when they no longer serve our purpose. It's time to ask yourself, is this making me better? Is this helping me become the person I want to be? If the answer is no, it's time to cut it out. Cutting things that don't serve your growth isn't about being harsh or ruthless. It's about being honest with yourself. It's about being willing to look at your life and say, this is no longer working for me. And then taking the necessary steps to remove it. The reality is your time and energy are limited. Every hour spent on something that doesn't contribute to your value is an hour you'll never get back. And every moment you spend engaged in activities that aren't growing you is a moment you're not spending on things that will take you to the next level. The more you cut out what doesn't matter, the more you can focus on what does. This is where the power of intentionality comes in. If you want to grow, you must start being intentional about everything you do. You need to make conscious decisions about where you invest your time, your energy, and your focus. It's easy to let things slip, to get sidetracked by things that feel urgent, but are actually distractions. But growth requires discipline, and discipline requires you to make hard choices. Take a hard look at the people around you. Are they pushing you to be better? Do they encourage you to pursue your goals? Or are they holding you back, either knowingly or unknowingly? Sometimes we hold on to people simply because they've always been there, even if they no longer support the direction we're heading. Cutting ties with toxic or unsupportive individuals can be difficult, but it's necessary if you're going to grow. It's not about being cruel. It's about protecting your peace and your potential. The same goes for habits. Habits can be a double-edged sword. Some habits are essential to our success, daily routines that enhance our productivity, health, and mindset. But then there are habits that do nothing but waste time or hold us back. These are the habits you need to examine and break, whether it's procrastination, poor eating choices, or staying up late when you should be resting. These habits don't grow your value. In fact, they hinder it. It's time to recognize them for what they are. Obstacles to your success. Break free from them and make space for habits that contribute to your growth. Another area where people struggle to cut things that don't serve them is with their environment. Your environment plays a huge role in shaping your mindset and actions. If you're surrounded by clutter, disorganization, or negativity, it's going to be hard to focus on the things that matter. A messy space often reflects a messy mind. Clean up your environment physically, mentally, and emotionally. Surround yourself with things that inspire you, that push you to be better. Make your environment a reflection of the person you want to become. And let's not forget about your mental clutter. Negative thoughts, doubts, and fears can be just as toxic as any external distraction. You must learn to cut out the negative self-talk that keeps you from moving forward. If you're constantly telling yourself you're not good enough, that you don't deserve success, or that you'll never achieve your goals, then it's time to cut those thoughts out of your life. The more you entertain these limiting beliefs, the more you allow them to shape your reality. Stop letting your mind sabotage your progress. Replace those negative thoughts with empowering ones. Remind yourself that you are capable, that you can achieve greatness, and that your potential is limitless. Cutting out the things that do not grow your value is not a one-time decision. It's an ongoing process. As you evolve and grow, you'll need to regularly reassess what's working and what's not. What served you a year ago may no longer be beneficial to you today. So make it a habit to constantly evaluate and adjust. Life is always changing, and so are you. What works for you now may not work for you later. Stay flexible, stay adaptable, and be willing to make the necessary cuts along the way. The more you focus on things that truly add value to your life, the more you will see your life transform. Every decision to cut something that doesn't serve you is a step toward a better version of yourself. And as you continue to eliminate distractions, you'll find that your time and energy are no longer being wasted. They are being channeled into activities and relationships that align with your purpose. You'll have more focus, more clarity, and more energy to devote to the things that matter most. This process is empowering. It's a declaration of self-worth. It's saying to yourself, I deserve to invest in things that will help me grow. I deserve to be surrounded by people who uplift me, by habits that serve me, and by an environment that inspires me. As you continue to cut away everything that doesn't grow your value, you will find that your life becomes more focused, more intentional, and ultimately more rewarding. You will become the person you were always meant to be, and that person will be unstoppable,